welcome to another Cinebeards review and discussion.
Hi.
That's Dion there.
Hi.
We got Marcus with us.
No, you don't.
Okay. Well, we got Thomas with us instead, and he's much better.
Yay.
I am much better.
No, you're not. You're not better than
on
me.
a point
Too late.
value, I am.
Thomas is here.
Yeah.
Who bought the Krabbies? Did you buy the Krabbies?
Jared, while
No,
you're
but that's
listening to this, we need you to redesign the logo.
I think the logo's fine, and
Yeah, I suppose.
I can just Photoshop my face over Marcus.
Oh, you guys are too harsh, man. You're harshing my vibe, and I literally just walked in from having seen the movie we're discussing today.
Why are you keeping it a mystery? It's in the title.
You gotta keep the listeners
Blind people
wanting
can
more.
use the internet too, Jason.
Everyone's like, what
not
are you
for
talking
I
about?
suppose so. You're right. You're right.
Cool. So Rampage, guys.
Wait, I thought it was Jumanji this week.
Oh shit.
On ice in
No,
Shit,
you're
did I
wrong.
watch the wrong movie
I
again?
think so. Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
I just watched Geostorm.
Oh, okay.
again
Can
to
we just
prepare.
do Black Panther instead?
Well, okay. Well, I mean, they're both in the jungle, so.
Yeah, I guess we can just kind of adapt our Jumanji review to Black Panther.
They are basically the same.
Yeah.
Black Panther was an entertaining
So,
family film.
Anyway, the Rock, aka Chadwick Boseman, is super good.
All right. So obviously, Black Panther, most disappointing film of 2018.
Oh yeah, by like a country mile.
Yeah, no, it like I was hoping for just a nice superficial action romp, and what I got instead was essentially a cinematic masterpiece within the MCU. Like,
I was just
Another one.
I was just
no.
expecting punching and kicking and maybe like a colonial white villain, and instead I got a powerful political movie.
I hate
Actually,
political
one
and
of
social allegories.
Stupid, good acting and good script.
That's hilarious because one of the very few negative reviews that I've seen mentioned, "Oh, he didn't punch enough."
Yeah, I wish he'd spent more time.
Not enough punching. 4 out of 5.
I saw
Wow.
2 rotten
No,
reviews
3 out
on.
of 5 actually,
Oh,
and it was a
right,
rotten
for,
review
for both the fists.
Yeah.
Ah.
I saw 2 reviews on, like, negative reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, you know, just the little summaries. And the one complained and said, like, I wish he'd spent more time punching. And the other one said that there's too much punching.
Do you think they should maybe get together, the 2 reviewers,
Yeah.
and like average it out and create a positive?
Well, I assume one's a pacifist and the other one's really aggressive, so it'll get sorted out pretty quick.
I wonder who's gonna win that fight.
Tune in next week to find out.
I for one think there was an adequate amount of punching.
I think the
There was
amount
a
of
good
punching
amount of
was
punching.
correct. There was a lot of punching.
There was a
but
lot
not
of
too
punching.
much punch.
Yeah. So, for me, it's definitely one of the strongest Marvel movies out there.
Like this is easily the best standalone MCU movie
I'd
since
say
Winter Soldier.
it could be the best film in the MCU. There's an argument to be made.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
good debate to be had. It's not necessarily the best MCU film.
No.
Yeah,
No.
we can get
But
more
it,
to that in
but
the
it,
spoiler section.
yeah, but I would say my feeling is that it may be the best film in the MCU, if not the best MCU film, if that makes any sort of sense.
Yeah, it was
Like-
the same.
like if you-
it
if you
was
were
the
to
same
take-
sort of thing we had with Winter Soldier. You
No.
know,
Well,
No,
yeah,
Winter
'cause
Soldier
until
sort
this
of
point-
more integrally linked to all the other films, where
Yeah, but before this, it was still the best film in the MCU in terms of
No.
composition.
yeah, true. But I mean, but with Winter Soldier, you can make an argument for
look,
both.
if
Yeah.
all you need to know is that it is a good MCU movie, it is
Yeah.
a good MCU movie and a good film on top
It's
of
a
that.
good Marvel.
Go watch it.
It's
yeah,
a great Marvel
the characters were like human. The conversations they had with each other didn't feel like scripted conversations. They felt like conversations that 2 humans would have.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were very organic, and as you were saying, the best one is between T'Challa and his sister.
Yes.
Hands down.
Yeah, his sister's such a breakout character.
It's
She's
and it's
so
it's
much
so
fun.
great because you could see the parallels between like other sort of nerd archetypes.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Like it fits perfectly. Like, you know, nerdy girl in her lab, listening to her cool music, making her cool tech.
Yeah, she's basically the M of
Yeah, but
the
like,
MCU, which is
cool, fucking cool.
but fucking cool,
cool.
and not just John Cleese doing something
like-
for a
Yeah.
paycheck.
And actually relatable, but not in a like, hey kids,
Hey kids!
hey fellow, how do you do, fellow children?
Hey fellow youths!
No.
This music makes me want to obey the law. You know, like
Hey,
actually
she's just
cool.
blasting Kendrick Lamar in her lab. I mean, come on, what's not to
Exactly.
like?
Yeah, and it was actually organically funny rather than having like jokes shoehorned in and
Very,
stuff. It was
very few
organic and
jokes,
funny.
actually, I realized on a second viewing.
Yeah,
Very few jokes, but very good, well-earned laughs.
yeah. Ulysses Claw was a large part of the comic relief, I guess, for us mostly because of how we could relate to how South African he really
Very
was.
Johannesburg. He is Johannesburg as a person.
Yo, that was just
And he-
yo.
And
Yeah, discuss that more than
I think
the
he's
spoilers
I
section, but
really
yeah.
think he's sort of really settled into the role now. Like
Yeah.
it feels like the first time round it felt good, but it felt less even, and this time round it just really feels like this sort of super well acted, super well structured,
Great characters,
It fits
like,
a
really
lot
good
in.
characterization.
Yeah, really good pacing considering how much they're putting in.
I was really worried about it.
Yeah, they were so ambitious with how much goes into this film and how many moods and settings and
And I was-
characters.
I'm so impressed with how Boseman like held his own against Forrest Whitaker,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
John Carney. Just
I also love the
that was
fact,
impressive.
It was.
like how much of the actual Black Panther and Wakanda lore they fit into.
how much
this
they got
movie.
into it without, and now 30 minutes of exposition.
So
Yes.
much
Yeah.
world building,
It was
so
so
much.
organic and so seamless that you weren't like, oh no, they're gonna
Like
talk for
Wakanda
now.
is instantly more alien yet believable than Asgard ever was.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure.
yeah, definitely.
Asgard, I'm still confused about. Like
Some
I've said,
things.
I've had 3 films, and I still don't know how many people live there.
No, you're
I
like,
have
is
no
it a
idea how
city?
the
Is it a realm?
society.
Is it a planet?
Yeah.
What's
I have no
going
idea how
on
the
there?
society really functions. You know, just looking at the actual
Yeah.
film.
Yeah.
It never felt like they really cared too much about.
Well,
Whereas this
I think
feels
the difference is Wakanda is a place and Asgard is a people.
Yeah.
God, Jason, that's not what we're fucking talking about here.
I think the main distinction and why they did so well and they realized it was so important is because Wakanda going forward in the next phase is going to be really important.
Oh yes.
And
yeah.
I think it was important to establish it as a place that you should care about with people that live there and humans with lives.
Yeah.
So as opposed to Asgard, which is just a location that there's like, and we're done with that. We're done with
look
that.
at the- look at the
Thor
Golden
comes from the
Towers.
shiny place.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, but this was, human, and this was real, and this was believable, and it was great.
Yeah. And as much as this is a Black Panther movie, without going into spoilers now, like it's not just a Black Panther movie. It feels more like Wakanda the movie. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like there's so
Yeah,
many
there's a-
supporting characters that have important roles within the world, within the story, that to call it's almost an ensemble movie when you think about it.
Yeah,
It is.
And Michael B. Jordan is probably the best MCU villain.
Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
the-
no,
definitely the best straight up villain.
Yeah.
He's the one they've spent the most time characterizing, and
Well,
Yeah.
Loki, they've spent a lot of time with that.
Yeah, the
but
thing about-
but,
No,
no,
but
but-
Loki's had like 6 movies.
Loki,
to do it.
they gave like Killmonger more like character
more
development
heart.
and
Yeah.
more heart in this one movie than they gave Loki up until Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
because Loki always, although he is written well, and Tom Hiddleston performs him very well, you're never there with his motivations.
Yeah, you're never really afraid of him. He
he's
feels
the
more like-
trickster god. You never
Yeah.
know his angles.
He's
You're
the
never
god
sure
of
if he's on the
mischief, so
level,
he
and like
must be
that's
doing
great, and
something.
he does that well. But as a villain, you're
It's funny, like I never
Also,
actually
my
think of
favorite
him as a
Loki
villain.
Is Anthony Hopkins Loki?
exactly. Oh shit!
So yeah, I think definitely the best. This sort of feels like it broke the sort of so-called Marvel villain curse. You know,
I agree.
Oh yeah.
It really felt like a proper villain.
Yes.
Okay.
Can we finally go into spoilers now?
With that's the end of the non-spoilery stuff.
If you don't
Just
want
as, like, a last
spoilers-
thought, like definitely go and see this film, guys.
It's
Come on.
it's
like,
a cinematic experience.
Yeah.
yeah.
in the
Go
best-
see it on
most-
the biggest screen with the best sound you possibly can.
Yes.
But then again, we say that for everything.
Yeah, we do, but that's because it's
That's
the best
'cause it's
advice.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So spoilers ahead. If you don't want spoilers, I guess.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Do
Please
Warner
remember to
Brothers.
like and subscribe.
And share this video with all your friends.
All right. Spoiler time.
spoilers.
Spoilers.
Spoilery spoilers.
All right. Let's get stuck into it. So,
Okay, so
no
I did-
Infinity
no-
Stone.
No Infinity Stone, and
Which
I
is
did
good.
not
And no
expect
cameos.
battle rhinos.
Battle Rhinos
Battle
were amazing.
Rhinos! I loved the shield cloaks.
Yeah,
Yes.
the sort of the traditional African cloaks, and then they were just these sort
Crib-
of amazing
projecting
Yeah.
energy.
force fields.
Just before we get to after, yes, no cameos except the obligatory Stan Lee.
And obviously the
and-
post credits.
Yeah.
And the post credits.
Which I called a couple of weeks ago,
Oh, yeah.
remember?
Yeah, no, you're right. And
Nice.
as soon as in the film, his sister says, you know, like,
The
oh,
other
another
one,
broken white boy for me to fix up. You know,
Yeah.
this is gonna be fine. As soon as she said that, I was like, okay, Bucky was here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually,
Yeah,
I was
really
wondering
like how
whether
they- how
I was
how
wondering
separate they
if
kept
Bucky
it.
would. I knew he's around, so I was wondering if he would actually show up.
I'm so
during the
glad he didn't.
And
I'm so
exactly,
glad
I'm
as
also
well.
so because it takes a lot of restraint to not have that. It's like with
Because it would
episode
make
7.
mind a lot of the movie.
Exactly,
If he were to
it's
show
the same
up.
thing
Yeah.
with the same temptation as in episode 7 in the forest scene,
Mm.
where everyone expected Luke to show up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You sort of, but it would have cheapened everything else.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm super glad that didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, you say like it would have undermined it, but there's always that risk that this is going to be the one time where they're going to choose the big name pull actor over the actual integrity of the film. I mean, we can trust Marvel not to do it, but always in the back of your head there.
Yeah,
is
you
a
always
risk.
think like it would be kind of cool if he did, but it would also ultimately be to the detriment of
No,
the film.
absolutely.
Yeah, essentially, like why a lot of fans felt a little hard done by The Last Jedi. Because they're like, oh, it would be so cool if Luke
Yeah.
came in and just saved the whole day and did everything awesome.
And then everyone was happy forever.
But then it would have undermined everything else
but-
in that film.
But he did. That's exactly what he did.
Yeah, but he didn't come,
he
show
didn't
up,
do it the
destroy
way
all the
they
walk.
wanted.
He
Like,
didn't
of
do
course.
he didn't help win the day. He helped them retreat.
Yeah,
which
he
is a big
he
difference.
basically distracted Kylo Ren long enough for them to escape.
Yeah, I know, but to me,
No,
that's
he
a different
definitely did, but
discussion.
yeah, but I mean, and then he died.
yeah.
And was like,
He didn't die. He ascended.
Yeah.
Yes.
became one with the midichlorians.
fuck off.
Blood pressure meter.
It's another step towards that heart attack.
I live to serve.
So yeah, we liked it. We
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
it was
Both
great.
viewings. I think one of the things that excelled where I think people overstate the extent to which Marvel's music tends to be bland or whatever. Like I don't buy into that whole thing. But I think this was definitely for them an exceptional soundtrack.
I
Like,
agree.
far more interesting than usual.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird to me at first when they were having the fight scene where he ambushes the trucks and stuff. It was weirdly quiet there.
I liked that it was
Yeah.
quite there. I actually felt both times that it heightened it because it adds to this sort of this air of mystery, this air of it being like if it's just action music, then
It's just
Well,
an
no,
action
I wasn't
scene.
thinking action music per se. Maybe some like tension building and stuff like that that they didn't.
but
really
even
do,
that, I
but
think
it's-
it's the thing is
but
you're
it's-
supposed to be
it's-
feeling off. You're supposed to be feeling off balance. You sort of that
like,
scene is
try-
played.
So you're one of them.
The
and
scene
you're
is
like,
played
what?
through the eyes of the
Yeah.
guys with the gun.
And this is
Yeah.
the first time you see the Black Panther.
That's the thing
hunt.
is he's supposed to be mysterious and they're not supposed to know what's going on. Like, wait, why did our cars stop working? What's going on?
I do know what Jason is on about to an extent. I mean, he wasn't wearing his sneakers yet.
Ew.
Oh, that was a good.
That was good. That was solid.
That was great. But no, I really enjoyed that was quite because
Yeah, I was listening to it more intently on our second viewing when we went in. I try to like keep an ear on the soundtrack the whole time, which is generally what I try and do when I go in for
second viewings, yeah. Same.
So it was really cool, really well used.
And I think the melding of African elements, traditional Hollywood soundtrack, you know, the fanfares, with hip hop and all that, you know, where everything just felt like it was in exactly the right place,
Yeah.
exactly the right
Do
time.
you know what it reminded me a lot of, but like in a completely different way? Is Hans Zimmer's Last Samurai score? The way he melded
You're
the whole
right.
Western style of it with the whole traditional Japanese style of things, and he got that essentially perfect balance between the two. It feels like this was in a similar vein.
Yeah.
I was something I was not concerned about because I enjoy a lot of hip hop music, but I was concerned that they were just gonna cash in an easy card and just throw out a whole lot of licensed hip hop music. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like the whole soundtrack was just gonna be, you know, Kendrick Lamar and Dr. Dre and like
Well, yeah,
all
I know Kendrick Lamar was sort of in charge of the
he was,
the
but what I
soundtrack.
mean is that the only time you heard actual contemporary hip hop was in her lab, and it was just the instrumental bits that you
And-
And,
and the-
also
on the
in the
basketball
Chinese thing and the
Yes.
basketball court.
Yeah,
But-
but
That's
in sort of
Korean thing, but-
inappropriate places.
yes, like I was afraid it was just going to be like just throw out the hip hop. The kids love the hip hop.
Yeah, that's true.
What
Like
I-
taking a Guardians of the Galaxy approach.
yes.
What I
Sorry,
also noticed is it goes more contemporary hip hop in the score whenever Killmonger is on screen
Yeah.
as well.
'Cause he
Like, when
represents
he's in the throne
America.
room, when he's like ascending to the throne, where he's like, it's
And,
just like
and that also upside down
Yeah,
shows
it's
you
just
that
like
shit's all wonky.
beats. It's like beats by Kendrick, and it works so well.
Yeah, it's good. It's sort of his.
Man, Michael B. Jordan is a handsome,
He's a
charming
charismatic fellow. My
He's a
wept.
good villain.
I wept for him.
Man. I didn't think he was a fucking asshole and deserved that.
yeah, he
death.
deserved to kill
Oh,
himself.
yeah.
But like,
What?
yeah, man, he was like, he's
dickhead.
like, oh, everyone must rise up and.
Well,
shoot
he's
and,
basically, I mean, they weren't subtle with it at all about the fact that he's basically become the thing that he hates most. When he
Yeah.
sits on a throne and says the sun will never set on the Wakandan Empire, and it's just like British colonialism,
Yeah.
you know, it's just like that. They're not being subtle about that at all, in case
Yeah.
anyone was wondering. Like, he definitely, I mean, he's villainous.
Yes.
Yeah, the only reason his death at the end is sad is because it's a monument to T'Chaka's failure.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only reason it should be sad, because T'Challa couldn't undo what his father did. He couldn't. He couldn't save this era.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that basically tarnishes his father's entire legacy.
And I like the fact that at the end of the day, it also the whole bit, despite that the whole scenario made him realize that even though his approach was wrong, Killmonger's essential sort of agenda was right. That they
Yeah.
should be reaching out to the rest of the world, but they
it
should
was
be doing it the
what's-her-name's
right
agenda.
way.
Yeah, which was exactly what's her name?
Nikia.
Nikia.
Yeah, her agenda.
So
As portrayed by Lupita Nyong'o, because people will forget.
Yes.
yes,
They've got Forrest Whitaker doing his soft acting.
It's so good.
Also, that's just the one thing I wish Disney would just not make a trend. Have Forrest Whitaker die to save someone younger
I was
than him.
I was thinking that on the second viewing. I was thinking like this is starting to become a trend. It's like the next time you see him in a Disney film, like, oh shit, I know where this is going.
It's kind of ironic that this time he was the perpetrator of the lies and deceptions.
Yeah.
Every day more lies.
Deception.
Love it.
Yeah.
Also, John Carney.
Yeah, no,
Such
obviously, so
such
proud.
a heartfelt performance.
I'm so glad they're finally actually like to some extent recognizing that.
Yeah.
You know,
Because it's been a big
w-
sticking point for
Because
you.
yeah, for me it's been this huge pet peeve, you know, that like he's in Civil War, which was the #1 film of its year.
Yep.
Had a prominent role, and
Nobody cares.
tumbleweeds.
Yeah.
But the way that he was used in this, like you Marcus thought it was going to be like a lot of flashbacks and stuff possibly, but I like there was the whole
The ancestral
realm, where
and
it's
what I
actual
really
interaction
like
between
is
them.
how the ancestral plane
yes
changes depending on who's
Yes.
and I like the
That
fact
was
that
cool.
sort of that it also again highlights T'Chaka's failure because his brother's sort of spirit is
is
trapped
trapped
in the
in-
US. Like
Yeah.
He can't
go
go to the homeland.
yeah to the
proper.
homeland, which is like I mean that's very tragic.
Yeah.
As
yeah
well.
that like in the ancestral plane thing,
They
like his
didn't give him.
father's
They
like,
say they didn't give him a proper burial.
Yeah, and
he's
that's
like,
reinforced.
oh, we're abandoned.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's reinforced that problem of not burial is reinforced by T'Challa's mother, where they're like, we couldn't even bury him.
Yeah.
Sorry, his sister rather, when they
Yeah.
were when they're hiding out in the jungle, it's like we couldn't even bury him. So it's obviously a really important thing.
Yes.
Okay, speaking of out in the jungle, how amazing is it how fully realized each of the tribes is? Like,
Yeah.
all five.
Yeah, you just
How-
know.
How perfectly realized, and that's the one thing that really filled in for me the second time is looking at the differences, and you know, and the
The
fact
thematics. Of,
that, what's his name, the actor that was in Get Out?
Daniel Kaluuya.
Daniel Kaluuya.
Yeah, like where you know where he sort of got the pen with the rhino, and that he's the one that calls the rhino late. So you know they've each got their specific thing, you
Yeah.
know, and then where they go into like that in the mountains where it's like the gorilla
massive
holding
gorilla holding
up
the throne room.
walkway.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, that throne room is
fucking
good.
incredible.
Oh,
With
man.
that shot,
That
and
is
you
a
can just
badass
see
throne
you can
room.
just see in your mind what the concept sketch looked like.
Yeah.
And then they translated it
Yeah,
like
just
1-to-1.
Perfectly.
Your wildest 13-year-old dreams could never imagine something so.
It's also, that's the thing, is it feels the least like an MCU film, but it also in some ways feels the most like a comic book.
It does. I think the violence was a large part of that, actually.
Yeah.
They didn't pull a lot of punches with the violence. They
No.
they went through with, like, that guy just got stabbed in the neck. That guy
Yeah.
just, like, there was some serious...
Yeah, you
Like,
very
Killmonger just
rarely...
slit that Dora Milaje's throat.
Yeah,
and
you
it
very
killed
rarely
people.
see that in the MCU, or
Yeah.
just where
Yeah.
people actually just get sliced.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you sort of see cuts and blood. Like it's a rare thing. They kind of they tend to
shy
gloss
away.
over.
Yeah, they
So
do
they
that.
obviously had to balance it out to get a friendlier rating.
Of course, yeah, but I think they went as far as they could with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
and it was
definitely.
appreciated.
And there were just so many lovely little bits of business and action, like the remote controlling of the cars and the jets.
How cool is
Just
that?
such a cool, and it allows his sister to be part of the action.
I cannot wait to see what Tony Stark can do with that tech.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I would,
that's the
for-
thing.
For her and Tony to get
Can
together
you-
and kind of
Can you
work
imagine
together.
that
I want her to
conversation?
put Tony in his place.
That's gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Well,
That
certainly
is
it
gonna
happened because
happen.
she's got much better
Yeah, like,
technology.
she's got sass. I mean, she's gonna be like, "Shut up! You're an old white man. What do you know?"
yeah, pretty
Oh,
much.
you've scared me, Colin.
Oh, you gave me such a fright, colonizer. Oh,
That's great.
amazing.
But yeah, she's gonna.
But yeah,
absolutely-
I think
that's gonna be an interesting
that's
bit of
the
the
tech
kinetic-
that uses the tech
builds
that,
up the kinetic
nanotech.
energy.
Yeah, I'm speaking more about the nanotech rather than kinetic energy, where it comes from the necklace to form
Yeah.
a suit.
Oh yeah.
I think that's going to be very much utilized in Infinity War with Iron Man.
Well,
suit.
you-
Yeah,
that's
it's-
why.
no,
I've
no,
actually
I'm
seen
gonna-
I've actually
I'm
seen
gonna-
people
bleeding edge suit,
speculating on that.
I'm gonna tell you how that scene is gonna play out exactly. Like Black Panther's gonna show up, Iron Man's gonna be there, and Iron Man does the thing where it comes out of his arc reactor,
Yeah.
and like he's just gonna be like, "Oh, my scientist did that much better," and it just much faster and everything.
Or Tony's gonna look at it and go like, "You came unprepared,"
Yeah.
or something like that. It's gonna be like, "Oh well, that's."
And then he's gonna meet Shuri, and she's gonna call his tech ancient, and there'll be a good laugh.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
Oh no, they're
Yeah,
shooting at me. I
the
need to put my
difference
helmet
is,
on.
Like the only thing that's the only thing that
Yeah.
slightly bums me out about that, the tech just coming from his arc reactor or whatever, is we're not gonna get just a super fucking cool suit up scene like in Iron Man 2.
Oh,
with
that's
the
the thing is like
case. With the
I
case.
literally I think the third time I watched it in the cinema it was
Was
just to go and see that suitcase again.
Yeah.
Jeez, that was good.
that was
fantastic.
fucking cool.
That
Yeah,
was
but
so-
we
might have
won't get that, but we'll still get the suit up for the Hulkbuster armor.
Yeah.
We're still gonna get
what
that.
what I was saying now is with that kinetic energy suit. What I
Yeah.
liked about it was, and that they seem to be doing a lot now with the films is like they don't sort of introduce everything at once. It's progressive. So she's just given him the suit that builds up kinetic energy when it gets hit. He hasn't trained with it. He hasn't
Yeah, this
learned
is
to
the
really
thing
hard.
that
Yeah,
I-
so it's not just that. You know, oh, it can just do this. He's brute forcing it. You know, he's sort of like
Yeah.
people have been shooting him, and then he goes, "Wah!" and then it explodes. And there's also room for improvement.
Yeah,
you
like
can see
Shuri
sometimes
had
it
to remind
overloads
him.
there when he got hit by the grenade. you
Yeah,
know,
it-
when-
Yeah.
with
They
the
completely
grenade
shorted
roll.
him up.
So yeah, it shorted out. So like she's obviously emphasized that just because something works, it doesn't mean it can't be improved. So you know that thing he's going to learn to use it directionally. He's going to learn
Exactly.
to focus that.
I want him.
And it's gonna be
I
in the
want
hands of the
him to say that
Russos.
line to Tony Stark.
And there's also the-
because Tony Stark's gonna show him a thing, and then
Yeah.
he's gonna go with his suit and be like, just because it works doesn't mean it can't be improved.
And there's also the payoff of him keeping that knowledge in his head and then linking it at the end with the sonic emitters and knowing
Yeah.
that he's gonna have the time to stab him.
Yeah.
Because
That
he-
was crazy. That was just so inventive as well. That was awesome.
I mean, they even acknowledged it in the movie. It was like, "Oh, sweet move."
Yeah, I like that it also that his victory at the end wasn't. They're also getting better at it. It's not just sort of brute force. You know, yeah, it's a punch out scene, but at the end of the day, it was sort of his quick thinking and his intellect
Yeah.
that won.
Well, yeah, because it already showed you that he could not win through brute force.
Yeah.
No, he couldn't win
Yeah,
the
he
race,
just
got
had a brute
prowess
force fight,
alone.
and he got his ass handed
Yeah,
to
he
him.
didn't just get like better technology thrown at him.
Yeah.
You know,
And again, they were on the same level because when they fought in the ritual combat, neither of them had the powers. And then when they fought at the end, they both had powers and they both had the same suit. One was just
Yeah.
a different color.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was it.
Very-
So it was
and it's such
essentially-
video game logic, like the whole thing,
Yeah.
the palette swap. I love it.
Yeah.
And also a nice touch, a nice little sort of commentary on his character when that Killmonger chooses the other suit.
The gold,
Yeah, the gold, the
ostentatious
more
one.
ostentatious, over the top, and he wanted it sort of more subtle, just the silver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite nice.
And I
Well, I
like
don't think Killmonger chose that as much as that's the one that was left there, and he put it on.
True.
No,
But
but
it's not like there were multiple copies.
but like
of
from
each
his
suit.
character, like
he definitely would have
he
chosen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
definitely would have.
I think just okay, yeah, not so much that he
I mean,
chose,
they
but just
see
that that's
that-
the one that he ends up with.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
see it at the beginning. Was like, I'm just feeling this mask.
Yeah, I'm feeling it.
It's sort of, yeah, I mean,
And that
he's
was
got
a cool
a binary
mask. I mean,
choice.
the coolest
Yeah.
one's definitely the Panther one.
Yeah.
But still cool. And I do like at the end, when you see they're walking through the streets, you can see T'Challa just wearing the necklace, and it just looks like a piece of jewelry.
Yeah.
Which is obviously exactly.
Oh,
just
can you
looks-
imagine how well those things are gonna sell?
Oh my god, that is merchandise.
I just
And
realized.
the ring as well.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
the ring
The
is
ring,
really cool.
that necklace. Oh my
It's a lot of
god.
merch.
I'm a little bit bummed that Claw is dead,
Yeah.
because this movie really made me like his character.
Yeah, he was
Such a
absolutely.
dick. I love it.
I know he was so relatable. I know people like that.
Look, I made it rain.
yeah.
I made it rain.
No, when he's running out, he's like, "That was awesome! That was awesome!"
He's such an unhinged maniac child. and I
That's
love
great.
that.
And
No,
it's so
I'm-
nice to hear convincing South African accents.
Yeah.
That's
Good,
again
good,
like Andy
good.
Serkis once again cements himself as a fantastic actor and a fantastic performer.
Yeah, such a transformation as well. Just so good.
I just wish there would be more acknowledgement for it.
I think, but you can sort of see them clearing the slate slowly but
Yes.
surely before Infinity War. Like they're trying
They're
to
kicking
tie
out
up
all the C tier villains.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
they which is a pity because yeah, he is definitely one of my favorite. But that's the thing is like if he's still around when Infinity War happens and you wonder like what happened. Like I mean, I keep thinking like where's Justin Hammer?
Yeah, where the fuck is he?
I mean, he's in
he's
prison, but I mean, but it's still
Is
like.
he in prison? Yes.
Yeah, so
he
is-
does
But there
end up
wasn't
in
there
prison.
wasn't there a short one of the shorts where he gets broken out and then they say the Mandarin wants to see like the real Mandarin.
I think you might be right.
Yeah, no, there is a. They did it. I think it was sort of just to appease fans, you know, that were angry that
You're
You're
right,
right.
man.
He does. It's in this. It's in the All Hail the King short.
Yeah.
Where they go in, they chastise poor, Ben Kingsley.
Yeah.
Being the Mandarin, and then they're just like, oh, by the way, we're taking this guy. Whoop.
Yeah, they
take
actually
Hammer.
take Justin Hammer out, and I'm sort of because he was as annoying as he is. He's definitely a character that I wanted to see.
He's a great.
But I mean,
I will never complain about getting more Sam Rockwell.
Sam
you know?
Rockwell.
no, I mean,
is a
but, but
great
he's
actor.
designed to be
Yeah.
annoying and great. But it just
I
feels
love
really.
that he went in initially to read for Tony Stark for the first
That's
one.
so. It's such a classic. You
Yeah.
know,
It's one of those loose ends that I wish they would just tie up, just for me, because he's one of the characters that sort of stuck with me. And I love the little touches, you know, how sycophantic he is, like the self-tan
self-tan
on his
hands,
palms,
yeah.
things like that.
Hammer does play a role in the Netflix shows. A lot of
Yeah,
the,
Hammer Tech.
a lot of the weapons in Punisher were Hammer Tech.
Yeah, and also in Luke
And in
Cage.
Luke Cage.
Yeah, and in Luke Cage. I mean, Anvil makes a point
Yeah.
of showing that
Yeah.
a lot of their weapons.
Haven't watched Punisher yet, blocking my ears, just in case.
Oh no, it's not much of a spoiler, but
yeah.
one of the companies there, which is like a PMC, makes a point of showing that a lot of their weapons are Hammer Tech.
Yeah.
And not stock.
But that's he's like, I want to know what happened to him. Just tie it. But I mean, that which is why it's good. I mean, as much as I wish Claw would have lived because I enjoy the character, at least now you know you've got some closure on him.
Yeah. But I think, if you had more of him, it would have become, like, to the general
Tiresome.
audience, it would have become tiresome and grating. I mean, we love him because we
But I mean,
know
he's
he's
the
from
kind of
Joburg.
he's the kind of guy that you could sort of bring back in a sort of similarly small
Yeah.
role. You know,
Like he
couple
could have
of-
been a bit player in a lot of the, I guess, villain team ups.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he's a
Whatever
he's a
such
middleman.
things.
Yeah.
Like that's
He's
his
an
thing.
arms dealer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they could just show...
Ayo.
What's his name? Show, like, him selling arms to people. both literal
Literally.
and weapons.
Oh man, the way he presents that piece of vibranium, where he just unzips his fly, just
I was
Martin
gonna buy a
Freeman
fancy
just-
case, but I thought I'd save some money.
as fragile.
Says the man who's a
Destructible metal.
says the man who's about to receive a literal suitcase full of diamonds.
Yeah, but I really like how fleshed out Killmonger was. Like,
Yeah.
the first thing you see in the movie is his backstory,
Yeah.
which is
You never feel like wait, but like it just feels like in his mind he is right.
Yeah. You never
Yeah.
And you
wait,
emotionally understand where he's coming
Yeah, you
from.
never say, I don't understand your motivation.
Yeah.
I don't get why you're doing this. This is uncharacteristic.
And the extra layer that they added in, it's not just an emotional thing, but also the fact that he's been trained for it. Where Martin Freeman says,
Yeah.
the sort of the group that he was part of, this is what they do at times of transition.
Destabilize.
This is a classic strategy for destabilizing and taking power. So he's fully trained and he's got the emotional impetus. There's nothing about it that feels unrealistic or
There's no
unwanted.
why is he doing this or how is he doing this.
Yeah.
No.
And I also like that they use that with him telling that that's what he's been trained for, because it shows that even though this is meant to be his homeland, the place that he's most connected to, he is so ready to just sacrifice it, to just destroy it, to just burn
it all.
to burn the most sacred traditions of his people, so that he can
my God,
get
that
what
shot.
he thinks he's owed.
Yeah.
That
And I think that's
shot
really important again, because it informs his character of how little he gives a shit about anything.
with his back to the camera while they're burning the hard
Yeah.
wood.
Man, if
What?
if that is not Michael B. Jordan's cover photo on his personal profile on Facebook, then he is an idiot.
I mean, come on, what else?
That was Jason that said that, in case anyone has trouble distinguishing voices. Just saying, you're the one that called him an idiot.
Well, no, for all we know, he's got that as his cover
No, that's
photo.
fine, but if he doesn't and he's listening to this podcast, which he probably is,
I mean, you guys are
Hey, Michael!
you guys are kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
I phoned Graham about you.
yeah, Graham. I know Graham's really into the podcast.
We're on iTunes
and it's got
now, too.
it's gotten me so excited for Creed 2.
Yeah.
Yo.
Like, man,
Like, I just want to
he
see
can
him.
act.
I just want to see
really
him beat
can.
the shit out of Ivan Drago's son now.
Yes!
Like I want him to get retribution for what happened to him in this movie. You know?
Oh man.
Like the Michael B. Jordan extended universe.
He came
Wait,
back
no,
from
no,
the dead.
no. That'll include Van Forstic, and I'm not for that.
Oh no.
Oh no,
I
but there is a
forgot
different link between Fant4stic and this movie, because remember in Fant4stic, the girl
No, I
one
don't remember in Fan
who
Stick.
recognizes patterns listens to hip music, much in the same way that Shuri does.
If you keep
I
talking,
blocked
just
that
Fuck
out,
off,
to be
Marvel.
honest.
And everyone's tuned out when we're done.
When he was
Hooray,
busy
I've cancelled the
kicking
podcast.
when he was busy kicking T'Challa's ass, I'm like, damn, Johnny Storm is angry.
I was just more like, damn, Adonis. Like, hold up, bro.
do it, Adonis.
That's
do
his name in Creed.
it. In case any of you haven't seen Creed for some reason.
Which, if you haven't,
You're an idiot.
it's the other Ryan
Idiots.
Coogler movie you absolutely have to
Yeah.
watch. Well, and Fruitvale Station.
Yeah.
Actually, just everything Ryan Coogler's ever done, just watch it, because he is a strong creative voice coming
His
out
cell
of
phone
Hollywood.
videos are fucking next level. Like, just, when he filmed his cat that one time and it's like playing with the little. Oh, dude, amazing. It's like I was there.
It was viscerally invested.
Yeah. But yeah,
So yeah,
incredible
solid
movie.
6 out of 10.
Definitely, yeah, solid 6 out of 10.
There's one thing I was saying, Thomas, you'll probably agree with me, right?
Oh.
So imagine,
Oh.
I'm gonna talk video games for just 1 second.
Oh,
So-
you and your video
Yeah,
game.
yeah, I know. But imagine a total conversion mod for Mankind Divided, but it's Wakanda.
I'm in.
Oh, I'm totally in.
I'm in. I'm
Can you
in.
play Ulysses Claw and you upgrade yourself?
Yes!
I mean, that is my.
I'm in.
I want that. I want more of that city. I want to see the Wakandan capital city realized even more.
Good
I
thing
wanna
it's a
see
focal
more.
point in Infinity War.
Because
Yeah.
there's definitely not an Infinity Stone there.
No, there probably is. Just
But,
kidding.
but we'll get to that in like 2 weeks' time, I guess. but
Next week, actually. Because
Next week.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
yes,
is coming out on Monday. Tomorrow is our regular, and then next
Yeah.
week Tuesday will be.
okay, well we'll get to it next week. But the Soul Stone, not being in Wakanda, like I sort of expected it to be.
Yeah, no, we all
I
do.
expected it to be linked to the ancestral realm in some way.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, the thing
If
is,
it's
I
not,
think
that's
they
fine.
purposefully. No, I think it is there because that would inform the attack there in Infinity War. Because that's like we discussed. We think that that battle that you see is the beginning of Infinity
Yeah, no,
War.
I think so as well.
So
Yeah, like
I'm pretty
Act of-
certain it is
end
that
of
they
Act
just
one latest.
they just left it out to kind of keep this separate so it can exist as a standalone movie if it needs to.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, the other option is if there really isn't an Infinity Stone there. I mean, it's the most technologically advanced nation on Earth.
Yeah, it's the biggest.
That have
threat
just
to Thanos.
come out. Like Thanos would,
Yeah,
would
but-
have spies and would know that Wakanda is his biggest threat.
But it would make sense for the Infinity Stone to have been in the vibranium asteroid that collided with
It would also make sense, yes. And that could also make sense why they haven't uncovered it yet.
because it's like
Because you know
It's-
Thanos
it's way
is just
stuck in there.
Thanos is just gonna try and rip the entire meteorite out of the fucking ground.
just smoosh.
I hope he does.
Yeah, that
There
makes
was-
sense.
there
It
was-
it is a pity that the color scheme's not going to work out.
One thing I will say is that it could happen because in the leaked Comic-Con footage, there was a shot of Thanos.
I don't know any Comic-Con footage. I'm blocking out. Okay, you can
Oh,
tell.
but I
off
did
yours.
see that. I did see that.
Yeah, where it's fine. He just literally throws a very large object at some people. So,
I like that.
Movie ruined.
Pre-order.
so you know,
cancelled.
he could theoretically, from what I've seen, he could have that level of power to rip the meteorite from the ground.
Interesting question. Just on a side note here, I know obviously the Comic Con footage, the Comic Con trailer was obviously bad quality when put online, but I kind of feel like that's more of a hype trailer than the actual official one that was put out.
Yes.
Oh, the
I
official
agree
one
with
was
you.
more of a slow burn.
Yeah, no,
think-
I mean,
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah,
exactly
yeah,
that's
yeah,
exactly
yeah,
how to
it's a good
describe
trailer.
it. But I gotta say,
maybe.
like, if I want to do, I think trailer 2 is gonna be more like the Comic Con
Yes,
trailer.
I think so
because the trailer one is, I mean, it is a slow burner, but that Comic Con footage
Yeah.
that's like hype injected straight into the heart,
Yeah.
like full on.
I mean, they literally put in all the hypest shots they could.
at that
for the
point,
fans.
like
All
of the
full on.
VFX.
So many,
All available VFX
and a
shots.
lot more Guardians. A
Lot
lot
more
of
Guardians.
Guardians.
Yeah, well, that was just before Guardians 2 came out.
Yeah,
right?
so it made,
was,
I mean,
uh,
it
Yeah,
makes
it's
sense.
a big seller.
It made sense, but still, it was.
Yeah, it's definitely like it's definitely super hype. I hope trailer 2 is a little more in that vein where it's just
Yeah, when it's just like, you know what?
it's just a sledgehammer
Let-
of hype to your face.
But let's not undersell trailer 1 though. Like,
No, don't get me
I mean,
wrong.
I still get goosebumps
I've
every
seen-
time
I've seen that trailer
when that
probably
score
50
picks up at the
times.
end,
Yeah.
and it's just like those chords. I'm like, why isn't this in my house yet?
Well, because nobody knows what it is. Because nobody knows any Marvel music. Every frame's a painting.
Every
The
frame is
Avengers
you're
theme.
disappointing.
The Avengers theme, I'm sorry, is even though it's only now 6 years old.
Yeah.
To me, it's already as iconic as the Superman theme, the Danny Elfman Batman theme,
Of course. And Star Wars. Like
and the
it's,
Star Wars
Yeah,
theme.
I mean, like, look, people are super biased against Disney. I mean, everybody off the top of their head can give you the Dark Knight theme.
well
Whoa.
fucking played.
What I do like about the soundtrack and the score is this after Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
It looks like they're actually going with more unique voices to do the scores going forward.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Mark Mothersbaugh on Thor Ragnarok, I mean, obviously is going to put diva synths in everything, and it works, and it's fun as hell. And having, I can't remember his name now. He's a youngish composer on Black Panther, working with
McManson.
yeah, that one. With help from Kendrick Lamar, like to help build out the world, and using South African artists. I was watching the credits. A lot of South African musicians like performing some of the music.
Yep. So yeah, they feel. I think they said when Kevin Feige sort of took over entirely from Perlmutter, like where he
Yeah.
didn't have to answer to him anymore. where it was Perlmutter who was sort of stiffing the composers, sort of going for quickie, sort of slightly more generic.
Ludwig Göransson.
That's the one.
Yeah, slightly more generic scores, and now that sort of he took over full control around the time of the Avengers. From there on, they've been focused more, exactly as you sound, like more unique voices, investing more money in the music, making it a bigger part. And I think especially after Guardians, where like that just exploded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've really focused on making each one.
I mean,
really unique.
Kendrick Lamar's Black Panther album has been on the #1 chart since it launched on the 9th of Feb.
Sheesh.
Yeah, well, beyond how good it actually is, it's a cultural phenomenon, and it's
Yeah.
something that people want to be.
Oh, it's an important movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
no one can
Culturally
understate how culturally important this movie is.
Yeah.
You mean no one could overstate?
Yeah, but essentially, just go see this movie already.
Just please
Yeah,
go
jeez, why
watch
do we
it.
still have to be talking about this?
Because it's a good
Yeah,
movie, and we
'cause
like talking about good movies.
No, we
Dion.
do like talking about good movies, but you know what we also like? Watching good movies.
Yeah.
And this was a good movie, so go watch it. Come watch it with us.
Definitely.
Yeah, buy us a ticket. We'll come watch it with you. Give
Yeah.
you live commentary afterwards.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'll whisper in your ear the entire way through the movie.
We could make that a Patreon exclusive.
Yeah. Patreon win, guys.
Well, what you do is you have a specific moment where the person has to press play, and then you give them like MP3 that they
so
play
you
throughout the full. So you're like, so they could put in one earphone, and then
like-
you could be in the side, you could be like talking along with like, hey, oh, she said sneakers.
You can have like the,
Oh, we can talk to exceptionally lonely people.
like me. You can have like the walking walking museum guides. That
Yes.
you know, and like at specific points of the movie, like a little thing will light up. Press now for commentary.
Well, yeah, we can actually set it up so you push play before you actually get in the cinema, if we can time it right, and we just complain a bit about the popcorn line.
Talk about the general weather.
Like, don't joke. The popcorn line was pretty long this afternoon.
Oh yeah, no, I got stuck in there.
Like,
we
the
like
cinema
just
was-
made it into
When
the cinema.
I was wondering where you guys were. I actually went out to look for you after a while. I was like, what's going on?
We just missed each other. Actually.
We waited. The first time we watched it, we were in the popcorn queue for like 10 minutes, and there was literally just one group in front of us.
Yeah.
That took long. Like, we
It was
waited, like,
in fucking insane. All right, so great movie. Let's go have some
Go see it,
crabbies.
yeah, and please now enjoy Marcus coughing. You're right.
I believe so. Ginger
You
beer in
put-
the wrong hole.
You just you gotta put that on its own at the end of the episode.
You okay? I think so.
I believe so.
Okay.